All right, let's go ahead and check out the interface of Illustrator. So all of this is totally customizable and it's going to be up to you. And like I said in class, we're going to have a little bit of time. You're going to have to give yourself a little bit of time to figure out which one works best for you. So on the left, this is our tools. On the right, these are our palettes. So if you wanted to, this caret will expand or collapse accordingly. So if you want to just have a nice single row so that you have most of your screen, you can use that. Or you can double it up, and this is the one that has the logical pairings. On the right, this is the one that's totally customizable. So that which you know you use a lot, I'm going to recommend you have to the front. So yours is not going to look anything like mine. So just keep that in mind. So I like to have my swatches up. I do a lot of pieces that are typographic based, so I like my character and paragraph here. And because I'm a shape builder and more illustrative when I work with Illustrator, I like my align and pathfinders to be easy to access. From there, I have my color guide, the brushes, the symbols, which we won't really get too much into in this class, and as well stroke and transparency, which I do use relatively frequently. And you can see these are paired together, or you could expand, of course, so that's both pictorial. I typically keep one that's expanded and one that's collapsed so that I do have enough room to work. But you can see there's a little line in between each of these, so they are going to be grouped logically. So if you need layers, you can get to it quick. But what's beside and or above and below it are here, artboards and the assets. Gradients, which we're going to also get to later down the line, and appearance and graphic style. So you might not have those up. I don't use those too frequently. For the most part, you'll find out which ones you do. So spend a little bit of time and play around with this. You can click, hold, and drag them out. So this is like a tear off. So if you're doing something and you just need to boop, 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 be sort of close to it, that works. You can close it, and everything's under the window. So I had closed, a line. I really use that a lot, so I want it back. I went, I want this. Click, hold, and drag. So if it goes in a square, like it makes a blue square, that means that's where it's heading. So we want it up at this one. Or if you want it by itself, it's a bar. So it'll just put it sandwiched in between those. So I want it back up here. And then you can rearrange it to the order that you had it. I do work with my swatches by themselves. I am mostly a swatch color mixer, or I use the color mixer over here. So for our tools, regular select, direct select. We have our magic wand, we have the lasso. We'll get to those when I deal more with our selections. But if you have it in the paired up way, it does put it in a logical order. So it's the pen tool, curve tool, type tool, line tool, rectangle, brush, etc., etc., etc. The rotate and reflect you may end up using a lot if you end up being a logo style designer or a symbolic based designer. And the rest of this we're going to get to slowly down the semester. So this one's going to come with a caveat. The slice tool is a web tool. So if you think you're slicing parts up of a piece, that is not what it's doing. So don't use that if you're in print design. With the erasing, we will get to that, but it is not a slice. Just keep that on the back burner. You can also, so we can change our colors here. You can change our colors here, the top, and then we can change our colors here. So one of these is going to make the most sense to you. As usual, we're going to experiment and figure out that which works the best for us. If you get crazy colors and you're like, I just want to be reset to the default, right under here is our actual default. Click there, boop, and it goes back to normal. This shows the solid colors, gradients, and none. So you might be a person who, if you're pen tooling, you don't like a fill. You can use your none there, none here, and none over here with our swatches. So again, for this part, just practice, figuring out which works best for you. Something else that you may want to consider, maybe you're halfway through a project and you're like, I wish this was landscape. You can change your document setup under File and document setup. So remember, this is the artboard, so we're not editing the general the type. We want to edit that artboard. So click on that, and this window pops up. So we're basically working, you know, in a live pane edit mode of our artboard. We have portrait, we have landscape. You can change the size to whatever you want. You can add more artboards if you so desire. I'm going to undo that one because I don't want that. Command 0 to get us back to where we were. If we're happy with it being landscape rather than portrait, go ahead and hit escape, and then you go back to your regular work mode. To zoom out, it's Command negative, Command plus, so plus and minus at the top of your numbers, so it's 1 through 0 and then minus and plus. Minus zooms out, and you can see our artboard versus our pasteboard. So the pasteboard's the dark gray. Artboard is that which is going to be active and printed, and 0, Command 0, is going to reset it to its default view. I also like to work with my rulers up, which is Command R. If you go to your view menu, it's rulers, show rulers, so that we can see, you know, our 0, 0, origin, etc. So if we need to have really precise designs, it is nice to have those rulers up. And that's going to do a Command R so that we can see all of that pane again. We do have a zoom tool, so zoom in, zoom out. So zoom pulls in, zoom out, push it back. So think of it just like you would as on a tablet. And the hand tool beside it, you can scoot around your artboard. I'm just going to zoom out so we can see it better. So scoot, scoot. That way if you're working, you can navigate pretty quickly. You can also, for that, hold down your space bar, and then you can toggle between whatever tool you're working on. So maybe you're using your brush, but you need to move, you're going to be able to do that. So that's why the space bar is super handy with that. Quick keys, V, get you back to your regular selection. So get used to those. They are going to come in handy. All right, so for the next one, we're going to take a deep dive into our actual illustrating tools.